I feel like I've had almost any kind of art job you can think of. I have to be honest though, even though I did a lot of freelancing as an illustrator and a graphic designer, I was never particularly good at it. It's not that I thought the work wasn't good, it's that I didn't enjoy it. That's how I was bad at it. And I think I'm just not cut out for it. Something I have learned about myself is I have to be invested in my work. I have to care about it. And if you're a freelancer, you're doing door hangers for tax services, you're doing business cards for laundromats, you're doing whatever work you can get. And I'm not diminishing that, and I'm not diminishing people who do that work. This is me saying the reason I was bad at this job is because, excuse my French, I could not give a shit about the stuff I was working on, and it made it a slog. I remember having a conversation with an art teacher in high school. He was asking me if I was considering a career in art. And I said no, because doing art for other people doesn't sound fun to me. And even though that's a very 16-year-old kind of answer, I have to admit I haven't grown very far past that. So I was lucky to get the job I have. This is a job where not only am I basically an illustrator, it's a job that's easy for me to care about. I work at a local county attorney's office. I create basically anything visual that you would show a jury to help them understand the facts of a case. So, diagrams of crime scenes, anatomical illustrations to show where injuries were on a victim, diagrams that explain complicated or nuanced concepts. Anything that might be difficult for a jury to understand through strictly verbal testimony. Something that you want to show them something to help them understand it. It's a job that requires art skill, but there's very little artistry to it. It's more designy. It's more like visual instruction or graphic design. You're not preoccupied with aesthetic value. You're preoccupied with accuracy and clarity, which is why I wouldn't call it art so much. It draws on my art background, but what I think of what I'm doing is that it's visual communication, which is a little different. My natural tendency is to just lose myself in my work and kind of run away with it. And that's not something that's desirable with this job. This is a job you can lose yourself in, and not in a way that you want to be lost. You'll never touch the bottom of this pit. So you never want to crawl so far down that you can't get back to daylight at the end of the day or the week or the month. You need something to escape to, intellectually or emotionally, when this work becomes difficult. And for me, personal creative projects are what do it. They keep me, no matter what I'm working on, with at least one toe someplace else. I think I need that. I need something in my life that's expressive and creative, and for me, it's mine. It keeps me balanced. It keeps my life from getting lopsided. It keeps me from getting lopsided. A lot of my day job, it does find its way into DvsM in one way or another. Whether it's my understanding of what a violent scene looks like, or how to build a location, how to build a house and make it look like an actual house. Even though it is exhausting sometimes to be at work all day in Adobe, staring at a monitor, and then go home and do a lot more Adobe and staring at the monitor, it's different enough where it doesn't feel like I did the same thing all day long. It's a very different exercise. At work, I'm, to sort of use the cliche, at work I'm using very much one side of my brain, and when I'm working on the comic, it's very much the other. At work, I'm thinking very much about how to distill a complicated concept into something basic and visual and clear. Where when it comes to the comic, especially the drawing of it, you're tapping into more of a dream logic part of your brain. But with the writing too, writing is of course there's technical elements, but my writing process, I trust a lot of instinct and inspiration and, just strange, deeply generated impressions about what is the way to go. It's not a rational process, I trust creative instinct. I also feel it needs to be sort of structured and tamed intellectually. But I think the kernels of ideas, to me, the best ones, my favorite ones, are the ones that are elemental and strange and instinctive and impressionistic and surreal and that seem to just be coming out of the dark, coming out of the id. They just feel right in a dream logic sort of way. Like, those are the ones that I am most excited about and most want to integrate. But what I do is I take then this raw creative product, and what you're doing in the revision process and the polishing process is you're faceting it. You have this thing that you believe in, but it's not ready for prime time, so now we're going to shape it. And so that's an intellectual exercise, but the initial process that generates it is mysterious, but one I believe in.